Hello everyone, and welcome to this live stream. So for the people that started saying hello to me, now I cannot respond anymore because I'm live, but I will get back to the chat after I'm in the middle of the video. So my new plan for the channel is that I have four series, so I can produce 4 episodes a week, each for its own series. So I have one about the 251 system, I have one about the chords. I produced one yesterday, go check it out. And then this one is a series meant for beginners. I mean, you don't have to be a beginner to watch it. And it's not necessarily guitar beginners, because I'm not going to talk about technique or about like simple chords. I'm just going to talk about jazz guitar, but it's for people that want to get started with jazz guitar. Maybe you have a problem with memorizing standards, or you have you don't know where to start when you want to start improvising. And of course, I have tons of videos on my channel with high-level concepts and difficult phrases. I put some links in the description if you want to check those out. But this video, or in this whole series, we're going to do 3 things. I'm going to teach you the chords of the song, explain to you how I would memorize it. So you will learn the formulas I'm thinking about. I will show you a way to play rhythm for it, like the chord diagrams, and I have a chart for that looks like this. And I'm going to show you a couple of licks that you can use to build a solo. It's not going to be a great, like amazing solo, but it's going to be a solo that sounds good, and it's something you can practice, something that gets you started, something that gets you thinking about improvising in the right way. So this week it's going to be Dinah, and then next week we're going to do a straight ahead jazz standards, and then we're going to go back to gypsy jazz. So hopefully by the end of the year there will be 50 songs or something, and then who knows how long I can keep it up, and then eventually you have to do all the jazz standards, and then eventually I'll have to learn some new ones too for the channel. That's great. Okay, so Dinah. Oh yeah, one more thing, we're not going to learn the theme, and I was thinking about that, but here's the reason we're not going to learn the theme. First of all, I think there's many ways, good ways to learn the theme already, right? You can find a lead sheet, you can listen to a vocalist sing the theme. That's the best way, I think, or transcribe the theme yourself. But the second reason is this video is meant, or this series is meant to kickstart your jam life, right? You go to a jam sessions and you want to play. Now there's only one guy or gal in the session who's gonna play that theme, right? And so I can spend a lot of time on the theme, but then maybe you're not even going to play the theme, but you are going to play the solo. So I'm going to focus on the solo parts, and then the theme you can learn by yourself. Okay, here we go. Dinah. Let's start with the chords. Oh, that's not. These are the chords, and how I would memorize them. By the way, so maybe I don't know how big it is on your screen, but it's pretty small for me. Of course, if you are a patron of mine, all of these PDFs will be on my Patreon right after the stream within 10 minutes. So you can download it there, or you can take a print screen. I always give you a free option and a paid option, and both are fine. But as a patron, there are so many PDFs you can download. I think you can practice that for years. And also, if you want to tip the stream, you can use a super chat. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. I made some nice GIFs, and I'd like to see them, because so far nobody has triggered them. Here we go. We're going to start with Dinah, and we're going to talk about the formula. So first, let me just say what it is, right? So it's G for 1.5 bar, then we have a half bar D7, 1 bar G, then we have G with the B in the bass, B for diminished, and then A minor 7, D7, G, right? So if I say the chords like that, it's very difficult maybe to remember them, but now I'm going to show you how I remember them, right? So what I'm thinking about, it's 3 bars of G. 1, 1, 2, 3. 3 bars of G, right? But now, because 3 bars of G is kind of boring to play as a rhythm guitar player, also harmonically it's kind of boring, a way to vary that is to play some D7 in between it, and you can do it anywhere, right? You could do it every bar. Like that. But that's too much. So let's do it once. And where we're going to do it? We're going to do it in the second bar. On B3. And then we're going to go back to the G. But in my head, I'm thinking about 3 bars of G. I'm thinking this, 2, 3. But I'm playing 2, 3. Then we get this. We call that a walk down. So I would remember, okay, 3 bars of G, and then it's a walk down. And then it's a 2-5 in G. 2-5 G. So if you don't know a 2-5 in G, of course you gotta learn it. So you have to learn, okay, what is a 2-5 in G? It's A minor 7, D7, G. So now we have the A part. The A part is 3 bars of G. And then we can hop to the D7 if you want to. We don't have to. Then it's a walk down. And then it's a 2-5 in G. So let's play that. 3 bars of G. 2, 3, walk down, 2, 5, 1. And then it's 2 bars of G, but usually when we have, again, if we would play 2 bars of G here, and then the second A, we would have 3 bars of G, we would have 5 bars of G. So what we're going to do, the last bar of the A part, we're going to play a D7 again. So from the walk down, 2, 5. Let's play a D7. And second A, same. Walk down, 2, 5, 1. Okay, now let's talk about the voicings, right? So let me go back to the chart. So for the G, I like to play, notice that every chord, there's no note voiced on the high E string. So even though I might have my finger on the high E string, right? I'm trying not to hit it with my pick. I don't like this sound. It's too much. For my rhythm style, which is a very basic rhythm style, I always say it's a style that would offend. Why is this shaking so much? I changed the setup a little bit. Maybe. Okay, forget it. For my rhythm style, I don't like be too present with the rhythm guitar. So I have a rhythm style that I always say it offends no one. It is just very supportive, right? Maybe some people prefer a little bit of a different thing, but everybody can play a solo on this. So I don't want to hear that high E string. Now, if you want to know the mechanics of rhythm, I made many tutorials. I didn't link it yet in the video if you're watching live, but if you're watching it later in the future, there will be a link to my rhythm tutorials, or the last one will be linked in the description. So I'm not going to go into the mechanics, but so for the G, I like to play the bass with my thumb. So you get like thumb, and then voicing is a little bit difficult because you get two strings with your second finger, then right. It's basically like if you would play a. Some people play it like this. I prefer this. If you have trouble with that, what you could do is you could skip the note on the D string and just play and mute it. Also sounds, but ideally you want to play them both, so just practice that. Okay, so D7, again, I'm not playing this note, it's even muted. I bent my finger in such a way that this note is not voiced. For the walk down, I only play 3 strings. Right, of course I could play 4 strings, I could play. That's a nice effect. But in general, I keep it simple and play. For the 2 chord, that's a voicing you probably know. D7, G. Okay, now we're going to go to the bridge. So the second A, let's play the second A. 3 bars of G. Walk down. 2, 5, 1. Now the bridge goes to E minor. So let's play a 5 chord before we go to the bridge. B7, right? And the 7 chords are usually, or one of the voicings I like for 7 chords is this one. It's where you have the root here, and then you have a third, the 7, and then again a third, so you have a double third. So if you say to someone, oh, let's play double third on the piano. That sounds awful. You would never do it. But on guitar, this voicing just sounds very crunchy. I was playing with Charles Limberger in England, and we were talking about voicings. He said to me, you know what I don't like? I don't like this voicing with a double third. But we were jamming for 2 days. It's like, I'm playing that voicing all the time. He said, really? I didn't really notice. But that's because of my rhythm style. I play very short. Very short, so you don't really hear it. What you do hear is because it's the lowest 4 strings that's just very crunchy. So that's the reason I do it. If you don't like this double third, you could mute the A string and play in 3 notes. No, whatever you want. Okay, so we're going to go to the bridge. So the bridge, let's look at it. So the bridge is E minor 7, B7, E minor 7, A7. So let's look at those first 4 chords. Here's the way I would remember that. And that's something you can really learn about this kind of progression. Is when you all heard this sound, probably at some time when you listen to jazz, you hear this kind of sound. Right, you hear this? Right, that happens in many songs. It happens in I Love You. It happens in Sentimental Mood. It happens in Bye Bye Blackbird. They all have this. So a lot of people would say, okay, so that's, if we go back to this song, say, oh, it's E minor major 7, E minor 7, E minor 6. And that's one way to say it. But the real functional chords for that kind of progression is always this: E minor, B7, E minor, A7. So if I would think in E minor, I would say, okay, it's 1, 5, 1, 4. It's not really that, but you could maybe think of it like that: 1, 5, 1, 4, and the 5 and the 4 are dominant chords. That's one way to memorize it. So now there's a trick for you to know. Every time you hear this, right, you can always play 1, 5, 1, 4, and the 5 and the 4 being a dominant. So that's what I wrote down here. I wrote down E minor 7, D7, E minor 7, A7, right? But you could also just play E minor with a descending thing, or you could just play E minor. It doesn't really matter. It's all the same, right? So if you ever have a song that has four bars of a minor chord, you could actually do this thing: 1, 5, 1, 1, 5, 1, 4. Or just E minor. Or you could play the descending ring. So one thing you should avoid if you ever play with a bass player, that if the bass player starts playing that descending bass line, he's kind of ruining the beauty of this progression. The beauty of this progression is that you have this moving note. Now you don't want to double that note in the bass, because then you just get these parallel octaves which sound really pretty ugly. So whenever I play with a bass player and the bass player starts doing it, because sometimes it happens, I say, just play, because then you get this counterpoint. That's what you want to hear, right? Okay, so now you know all the theory behind this progression, and you have to learn it once. You have to learn once, okay, so this progression is 1, 5, 1, 4, with the 5 and the 4 being dominant chords, or it's just 4 bars of E minor, or it is E minor with this descending note, note from the root, from the E. Right, so now we know it. We're just going to play E minor, B7, E minor, A7. Then the next 8 bars, it's again E minor, A7. So you could just remember, okay, so it's E minor, A7 twice. E minor, B7, E minor, A7. Again E minor, A7. And then it's a 2-5 to G. And we just learned the 2-5, so. And then the last A is the same as the first A. Okay, it's pretty easy. Of course, it's an easy song. I picked an easy song to start with. So let's play the whole song. Oh yeah, by the way, the voicings I use for the bridge, for E minor, I play this voicing, which doesn't have the root in it, right? I'm playing B, a G, D, G, so it has a double third again, but on minor chords it's less of a problem. I don't have a root, so a lot of people find that weird, but it's just this voicing sounds better than if you play rhythm with the root. It's just a weaker sound then. So that's just an oddity of gypsy jazz rhythm guitar. So let's play the whole song. So, and I'm gonna yell the thing I'm gonna think about. So 3 bars of G. Walk down. 2, 5, 1. Walk down. 2, 5, 1. 5 for the E minor. Now we get this minor thing. I'm just gonna say to myself minor thing, or the minor walk down thing. 2, 5. 3 bars of G. Walk down. 2, 5. That's it. Very easy. Okay, one more thing I want to say about this is many people play G, C7, G. There's nothing wrong with that. The only thing is it doesn't fit with the theme. If you play the theme, da da, ya da 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 da, this B really clashes with the B flat on the C7. So if you listen to the Django recording, he's not doing it. And maybe it's nice not to do it in this song, so you have a difference between this song and a song like Lady Be Good, which has the same chords, only there is the C7. Or Dinah, which is the same chords, but it does have the C7, or it's in another key, but it has the same kind of. So for Dinah, I prefer not to play the C7. Okay, so we got the chords. Again, if you want to learn how to play this rhythm pattern or the techniques, there's other videos for that. I will link them in the description. If it's live, it's not linked yet. If you watch this in the future, it will be linked. Okay, let's go to some licks to play a solo. So I'm not trying to create the best solo ever or the most cool licks ever. If you want to learn more licks for this for soloing, check out my videos, my loops videos, I think it's linked, or my 251 system videos. There's so much material there. That's for advanced players. But if you're just starting out and you maybe are scared to play a solo, so I'm going to give you some tools to play one chorus of a solo. Here we go. So what I did is, let me get the PDF myself. I know you can see it, but I can see it. Bam. So I have for you on G 2 licks, which I'm going to demonstrate, and I have for D7 I have 3 licks, and then for E minor 3 licks. That's all you need. So you say, what about the walk down? The walk down, you can ignore that. You can just play your stuff for G. What about A7 and B7 the bridge? You don't need it. It's all E minor. What about A minor for the 2-5? You don't need it. Just think D7. Let me walk you through it. So, first line for G6 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the first line. So now you start with this first line. You're going to go to my backing track. I made a backing track today for Dinah. It's linked in the description. And you're just going to play this line on the first 4 bars, because the first 4 bars is G now, right? And then you're going to play it again on bar 7 and 8 of the song, because those are G again. And that's how you're going to start. Let me demonstrate that. So I'm going to play Dinah for you, and I'm not going to play anything else. Maybe I play some chords, but I'm only going to play this lick whenever I can. So that sounds like this. Let me see how loud the backing track is. A little bit louder. Okay. If it's too fast for you, then put the backing track on 75% or even 50%. I'm just gonna do full speed, it saves time. Here we go. 2, 5, you go again. Bridge. 2, 5. Yeah, of course, won't be as smooth. Next, you're gonna play this line like this, but you're gonna play it freely, which means you're gonna experiment with the rhythms. Maybe you repeat some notes, maybe you play, or you play. So I went up and back down. Whatever you can come up with, just to be free with it. And you're not gonna start on beat 1, you start anywhere you want. Of course you do it slowly, right? But I'm gonna do it fast to save time. Here we go. You get the idea. Okay, second lick. So this was an ascending lick, and I always like to combine that with, oh, it's not moving. There it is. Descending lick sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3. Fast. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Same principle, right? You're gonna play this on Dinah. Let me just play maybe 1A. Next exercise, you would combine those two licks. And if you notice, they connect, right? You play the first one. Let me do it once, and I'm gonna be creative immediately. So I'm gonna change the rhythms, start too late, too early, whatever. Did you notice that I even played this on top of the 2-5-1? It still sounds nice. That's another lesson to learn. If you start a line in G over a 2-5-1 and you continue the line into the 1 chord, you can actually play all your 1 lines on the 2-5 as well, as long as you continue the line into the 1 chord. Yeah. Okay. Now we have 2 lines for G, and you can build a whole solo on the A part only with these 2 lines. You could even experiment with adding notes at the beginning of the line, maybe some chromatic notes instead of maybe do or just some chromatic notes in the beginning. Same with the first line. Instead of doing maybe do or just embellish a little bit and just use your ears. You don't have to use any theoretical concepts, just use your ears. Okay. Next line. first line for D7, beautiful, typical Django line, sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the bend, I bend up slowly to the B, and then I bend back before I hit the A. 3, 4. Make sure you bend up to a B, right? So you have to bend up to this note and then bend back. One of the tricks you can experiment with is just to repeat those two notes, those bend, the note before the bend, so this C, very Django-like. So the next exercise would be to play this phrase on all the D7s, of course, right? And then you're going to combine the G phrases with this D phrase. So let me just go immediately to that step. So I'm going to play my two G phrases, this one, and with my D7 phrase. Right, so where do I play this? On bar 4 and 5 of the progression, because bar 1, 2, 1, 2, still thinking G there, and now on the 2-5 I'm playing, and it connects to the first G line. It's like I planned it like that. Okay, here we go. Demonstration. I mean, that's just a good solo. Next lick for D7 sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. 3, 4. It's a diminished arpeggio, but it doesn't really matter. Just remember how the line goes, which connects to the first D7 line. You can even slide. Skip the C and slide from the A. Let's go to the third phrase so I can demonstrate with all D7 phrases. Oh, it says D6. I have to change it. It should be D7, lick 3. Sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not a diminished arpeggio, but starting from a different spot on the guitar neck. So now for D7 I have. So now let's build a solo using all the licks I have so far. So G and D7 and just for demonstration's sake, I'm gonna play the backing track at 75%, so you can maybe follow along a little bit better. Now that we get many phrases, it can maybe become confusing. Like that. And then last thing we're gonna learn some E minor phrases. So this is a great E minor line, super easy to play. I'm gonna play it with 2 fingers. It sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. So the easy thing about this, the E minor, it's the same frets, right? So the first we have to make a jump, but now then we have to move 2 frets up, and we do the same thing, 2 strings. And this lick is so great because you can play it every direction, right? You can play it down, or up, or repeat part. You can even play it the other way around. Or, I mean, you can do it with hammer-ons for another effect. So it's a super versatile lick and sounds great. You can be very creative with it. You could fill the whole bridge, the E minor bridge, only with this phrase and be interesting. So let me do that. So again, 75% speed. And the A parts, I'm going to do the G stuff and the D7 stuff, and the bridge, I'm just going to use this. I'm going to use it on the bridge on the first 6 bars, right? First 6 bars, we're going to think E minor. And then in bar 7 and 8, I have a 2-5. So what I'm going to play there, I'm going to play my phrases for D7. So here we go. 75%. Yeah, let me once do it at full speed, because I think the backtrack doesn't really sound great at 75%. Yeah, okay. Next E minor lick. I have 3 for you guys. This one. It's a very nice Tochelo lick. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The nice thing about this phrase is it's very easy to embellish. Because you have a lot of this first and second finger, and it's easy to do trills there. And also easy to change rhythms. Or repeat parts. So combine this with this. we have a wealth of melodic possibilities. Let me show you the third lick of E minor, because it's nice. It's the same lick as we played on G, the first one. Because this phrase fits both over E minor and G. It doesn't really matter why that is. It just fits like that. That's all you need to know for this series. This line fits both on G and on E minor. So, for the bridge now, I have this phrase. I have, and I have. So let's play a solo with all these phrases. I'm going to play 2 choruses, and I'm going to try to sound different in both choruses. That should be possible. Of course, I have lots of experience with embellishing the phrases and playing them at the right spots, and combining them. Of course, it's not gonna be as fluent and as quick of a process if you're just starting out, but it is entirely possible to play a really nice solo with only these phrases. And so in this series, every standard I'm gonna give you like these easy, just a few phrases. So by just learning that new standard and then practicing these phrases, you'll of course also build a vocabulary. But if that's going too slow for you, because it's gonna be 1 a week, then you can check out all my other videos, and there will be so much stuff there. And if you want to download these steps, I have a Patreon, which you can check out. If you join that, you can download every tab ever for every video, which is, I don't know how many pages, must be more than 100 pages filled with tab. That's enough for years. But if you just want these ones, you can download them too, of course. Okay, let's go to questions to end this video. So then I have to go here. Boop, 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 boop. Videos. Almost. Yes. Okay, let me see. Isn't it just E minor for 3 bars in the Django recording? Yeah. That's probably true. I just gave you the chords that most people play nowadays. But most people actually play the descending minor thing, or whatever variation you want. I just prefer playing, because it's easier on these chords to continue the rhythmic feel. Right? If I would play these kind of voicings, especially on this last one, it doesn't really sound full anymore. And if I play the 3-note kind of thing, I find that this line is too dominant. So by playing the full chords, E minor, I never disturb which I think is more important for a rhythm guitar player than playing super nice voicings. Hey, I heard a sound. So that you hear that sound, that means that somebody subscribed. If you want to trigger that GIF and the sound, you have to subscribe. Now I have another GIF and the sound for super chats. And that means if you tip the stream, right? If you click on the $ next to the chat, then you will see another GIF. If you want to see what it looks like and hear the sound, you have to trigger it. Okay. Next question. Hey, John, how you doing? Almost a fast Bos Dorado lick. This one, you mean? Yeah, the Bos Dorado lick is... But, yeah, it's basically just diminished arpeggio. You can find that in every gypsy jazz solo. Great stuff. I really love these lessons. Oh, thank you. Hey, Guillaume, how you doing? Okay, well, these were all the questions. I see. So, this is the first episode of this thing that's going to be a weekly thing. Next week, I'm going to do a straight ahead standard. I don't know which one yet. There's many nice standards. Maybe something like It Could Happen to You, or I Remember You, or I Remember April. Maybe I'll do I Remember April. Well, we'll see. And then the week after will be a gypsy jazz standard. I think I'm gonna do Shine. I decided. And then I have 3 series, right? I have my 251 series. I have my beginners series, that's this one, and I have my chords series that I did yesterday. I need a 4th one, and I have a couple of ideas. I'm not sure yet. I think I'm gonna do something like Christian learns something that I've never done before, like blues guitar or whatever, something, and then you can see me struggle trying to learn it. But if you have suggestions for the 4th series, then please let me know, and I'll take them into consideration. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!